Hi, Velikowitz here again with another video on changing the lamps on the Ford EcoSport. So in my other video I've shown how to change the left-hand lamps, and I've had some very good comments on that video. So then my right-hand brake light has since also failed, and when replacing it I realized that it works quite different to the other one. So in this video I want to show you how to change the right-hand brake light. So this third brake light has also failed, and I'll also show you how to change that. So when you open up the back, there's a little access flap here which you have to go through. So when you open up the flap, you will notice at the back there is a whitish yellowish color thumb screw which you got to remove, the same as in my other video. So to remove that, you just unscrew that. It goes quite a long way, and this is what it looks like. So what is different from the left hand side, the right hand side has only got one thumb screw, and then it's got these two bolts. They take a number 25 Torx, and these you just unscrew. There's the one screw and the second. What I didn't show in my other video, if you have trouble retrieving it, you can always just enter the bolt back on the inside where it belongs, and then you can just push, and that's just a good way of undoing the clips inside there. This one has got a fair amount of play on the wiring, so you can push the wiring back to get better access to the plug. This plug is not like the other side which just slides out. This side has actually got a little clip. Okay, so this one is a little bit more difficult because you must push down on the clip and then unplug. So then you have your unit loose. So replacing the lamp itself is exactly the same as on the other side, and the difference is this time this rubber came with. So I'll actually just paste that into this video, so that's the same. So the actual lamps are contained inside this unit, which is attached by 3 screws. There's one over there and one over there. So they use one of these. You get your tool, and then you start unscrewing all 3 of them. So you need to do all 3. So now the unit just unplugs. You'll see there's guide pins over there, there's 3 of them, and the lamps are exposed at this point. So this is your brake light and tail light in one unit. It's a double lamp, and this is your indicator. So the replacement of these, just whenever you replace any of these that have got double bulbs in, you will see these are at a different level. So these only go in one direction. So when you retrieve it, make sure that you get the orientation right. This one is just a single. This is actually offset, so this is actually not center. They're not opposite each other, so this is also has an orientation. Just make sure that there's a rubber in here. The rubber can come out, so make sure it's back in position before screwing this back in. Can only go one way, and then you put your screws back in. A trick with a plastic screw, always go back until it clicks and then go forward. That way it doesn't cut its own thread every time. This is just a trick with any self-tapper type screw into plastic. This last one is a little tricky, so but there you go. So to put it back in the car, just the reverse of the procedure. So the first thing is to plug the plug back in again. It only goes in one way. Make sure it's good in, and then you must make sure that these tabs all line up with those three over there. So you can now pull back the wiring a bit, because you've got this extra slack which you didn't have on the other side. So the thing is just to pick up those three of them. There we go. So you can feel when it's in position, and then just put back this as well. What I like to do is actually just push it forward, to push it sideways. So when you screw these back in again, I just push it that way to make sure it's in all the way, and then just tighten up. Don't have to over tighten this, that's enough. And then we just put back our thumb screw on the inside, and then you're done. So again, this just works by feel, and you just screw that back in again. That's it. Obviously you need to test it now. So this upper brake light has also failed. So on the inside of the door you will see there are these two rubbers, and those you just remove using a screwdriver. Make sure not to scratch the bodywork, so just be very careful. So inside here are two clips. They sit a little this way and that way, and I'll show you when I get it out to what it actually looks like. Let me just show you while this is out. I'm doing this in reverse now, but to show you what you will be hunting for, because you can't really see inside the car. So what you will actually try and do in the car is lift that up, and the bracket will then come out, and the same on the underside. So you will only have access from this side. So the idea is to lift that up and try and get the bracket to come undone, and that is what you will be doing in the car with both of the brackets, because you only have access from the one side. It's a bit fiddly, and okay, so there's the one clip out. It's actually very difficult to see in there. So you would be undoing the clip at the bottom and at the top. Okay, so both clips are loose now, so we can now remove the unit from the other side. You can now just retrieve the unit, and you can see the clips fall out. So the clips are loose in there. So you just retrieve the clips, and there's a pipe connected here for this window washer, and then disconnect the wiring. Now the wiring has got a little tab there which you push, and then you unplug it. So there you go. So this is a replacement unit. In my case, I have actually managed to fix two of the LEDs by doing some hot wiring inside, but that's a little beyond what most people will be able to do. But normally you would just replace this whole unit, and I'm not sure if these clamps come with it or whatever, but to get the clamps back in again is a bit fiddly. I found that if you do the short end first, there's some ears over here which actually need to fit down at the back, and then you basically push that in there like it is, and then on this side you do the same. So again you have those ears, So the ears must go into that there, and then this here will come in, and there it is in position. So that prevents it from sliding back. So if those are in, then your bracket is ready for going into the car. And into the car it is just a push fit. To replace it back in the car is very simple. You first of all just plug in the pipe, and then the connector can only go one way. So that just clips into position. Put your wires and pipe inside. Then it's just a matter of getting it past the windscreen. Once it's past there, it is quite simple just to push it so that the clips clip in position. There it is. We can test it. As I said, only one LED is still dead because I just did a temporary fix. And then finally, you just put back these rubbers. You don't need any tools for that. You can just do it by hand. There you go.